The London Bubonic Plague, 1665.
It's the intoxicated air you inhale every day. It's the credulous bypassers you wouldn't give a second thought of. And it's the abstruse creatures of the night. What is this you say? The Bubonic Plague, 1665.
The bubonic plague did originate in the streets of Europe back in the 1300s and 1400s, when the disease labeled Black Death wiped out over 25 million of Europeans' population. What is causing all of this chaos? Well, ever since the 1300s, smaller insects such as fleas, as well as small rodents like rats and mice, have carried around certain infections and bacterial diseases, such as the following: Pasteurial petis, later renamed Yersinia petis, which takes on three major forms: septilemic, eunomic, and bubonic plagues.
In this case, 1665 was a zoonotic disease, which means that if you are living in areas highly populated with these infected rodents, you are prone to outburst of this plague.
Bubonic victims explain the symptoms to be such as the following: swells, chills, malaise, high fever, muscle cramps, seizures, skin changing color, and buboes, which is a painful lymph gland swelling, commonly recorded to be found behind the knees, the armpits, and the groin.
In these extreme conditions, a recorded percentage of 30 to 60% of Londoners were successfully affected by the plague, with the fatality rate was 70%, which ends up to be 40,000 deaths. With this deadly disease on a rise and constantly getting worse, there is a slim chance of survival, as a low percentage of 30 to 40% chance of surviving the plague.
As for life after 1665 London plague, long-term ramifications took a toll on society with both good and bad. Observers of the plague were left without many family members or friends. Weak within the power of the church, peasants became less deprived, costs of basic needs were lowered as a result of high wages came into play. One real-life encounter of the bubonic plague was Samuel Pepys, born February 23, 1633 to May 26, 1703. He was a naval administrator and member of the Parliament. Pepys was the fifth oldest of 11 children, but quickly became the oldest after his siblings died out of the plague. We know Pepys because of many diaries he wrote during his experience with the plague.
True myths about the bubonic plague is that if you catch on fire, your illness will heal. That's not true. Another untrue myth is that if you carry posies in your pocket, you'll be immune from the disease. That's also not true. The only way to stay immune is to stay away from those who are sick.
Civilians believe that since the disease not just runs within rats and fleas, dogs and cats also carry the bacterial infections, so people stayed a certain distance away from these animals, and even at extreme times, killing them. Keeping your distance with anyone infected or potentially catching the disease would also help. Many people started applying the following: constantly burning fires and candles to protect themselves from the diseased air, wash their clothes with mint to prevent and wash out any disease, and to bathe in hot water every night to rid of the viruses.